Okay, so last week I finished watching the second season of Shadow's House. And the first season I had watched, it was either last year or in 21. I don't remember which. I think it was last year. And like I believe I've said previously, I had a really good time with it. I was quite looking forward to watching season two. Didn't get around to it for a while and then said, hold on, if I'm going to watch it, let's watch it in October. Let's make it kind of like a Spooktober kind of thing, you know? So I did. I had planned on being like, all right, like 2 episodes here, 3 episodes here, etc., and then give an update every few episodes. What ended up happening was 2 episodes one day, then the next day I watched six, and then the day after that it's like I've only got four left. So instead of doing a video, let me just fucking finish this and then make a video afterwards, which then got delayed because I was playing Kuro 2. It's like, I need to go ahead and finish this. So basically, everything else that I was working on got significantly delayed, but now here we are. There will be full spoilers for my thoughts on this season. So any like big plot reveals or aspects of the show, anything in the manga will not be covered because I haven't read the manga. There are a couple spoilers I'm aware of, which do make me go like, what the fuck? That's crazy! Fuck, I gotta read this shit! Which I think when watching the show anyways, which probably gives you an idea of what I think of it. I really like it and had a great time with it. The first thing I have to say is I believe I have said this before. I know I have said this before. I love the aesthetic. These like pure silhouette shadowy people that have no face. It's fucking cool. The fact that they all refer to each other, excuse me, they refer to themselves in the third person just makes them seem that much less human, and it works. The fact that everyone, or again, like the shadows, have these very nice outfits, like these nice suits, these nice elegant dresses. Like, I love this shit. I love this aesthetic. I love that half the thing is fucking lit by candlelight. I was heavily considering, like, hold on a second. I should just, like, get some candles and have, like, no lights, no natural lights, wait till it's dark, do that while talking about the show. And I tried a test run of that, and I was like, okay, yeah, I cannot fucking see myself at all. You make an argument, it's like, well, this is me trying to look like a shadow, like you can't see me and shit. I'm like, nah, let me just make it like a regular video. Although maybe, it feels like it's such a fun idea, but I don't think I could execute it well, so I'm like, let me just not do it, you know? But I just love the look. Like, it's very gothic, at times it's just very creepy. It's great. The opening. Now, I like the ending, I think is fine. I like it quite a bit. You know, I think it's very pretty. I think it's very pleasant. The opening is, I remember at one point listening to it, and I'm just thinking to myself, is this like gothic pop? No. It's a Baroque bop, and I love that. It's like, I should trademark that. I don't know. It's a Baroque bop. It's got like that kind of old-timey feel to it that I really like. Like, it's a song that very much fits the aesthetic, but then it starts getting like really fucking jazzy to it. I'm like, wait, yo, this like fucking slaps. This is so good. I love the opening. I don't quite remember the opening of season one musically, but I remember loving the visuals of it. Is it? I don't think it's the same song. That'd actually be really interesting. I should maybe look into that. Because I remember some of the visuals from the season one opening. I was like, that looks so fucking cool. But damn, season two is just loved it. On to the show itself. Shadow's House is a work of horror. And there are elements of horror, and again, like some of the shit I know that happens later, I'm like, this is a horror series. That is absolutely some shit in a horror series. Holy fuck. But it's also very much a mystery series about learning about the house, its rules, the inhabitants, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't remember what they were called. Morphs. I almost called them ghouls. I was like, I don't think that's it. Where you find out pretty late into the season that there are some shadows who essentially remember their lives, or like they had sentience before they copied the form of a human being. Mary Rose is one, and Kate is one. I'm like, that's really interesting. Looking forward to seeing where this goes. Apparently for Kate, it goes to some really fucking interesting places. Like, what the fuck? I gotta read this shit. But you don't get that, you don't get quite that in season 1. But even then, that's still a really interesting thing because most people don't do that. They are only aware of themselves once they have copied the appearance of a human being. And it's like, I don't know any of the other machinations going on. You find out, which I believe we already knew about this at the end of season 1, but you're learning about fusion, which is that, yes, once a shadow reaches adulthood, they will undergo a process where they fuse with their living doll. And so it's not just, this is my face, it's, they are my face. And one of the big mysteries of the season is about an elder shadow named Christopher, who was a star bearer, which essentially means like he was someone with a lot of authority in the children's wing, who became an adult, and you never heard from him again and never saw him again. And even then, like sometimes when a shadow goes from childhood to adulthood, it sounds like you don't really hear from them. You're not supposed to speak about them until you kind of reach adulthood yourself. With Christopher, it's kind of hinted that it's more of like a hush-hush situation, though. And I wasn't really sure why. And then later you find out that once he learned about fusion and how it would kill his living doll, Christopher killed himself. And his living doll is still around. Kind of sad, because that's revealed like right at the end of the season that his doll Anthony, which I noticed that one was kind of weird because for the most part the names are very, very similar, like Rosemary, Mary Rose, or Louise and Lou, John and Sean. They at least rhyme. Patrick, Ricky. Like there's a lot of really similar ones. And then you've got Kate and Emilico. Okay, those are really fucking different. Christopher and Anthony. Yeah, those are really fucking different. What the hell? I don't know how much of like a big deal that is. If that's just kind of another way of saying like, hey, like these. I feel like especially with Kate and Emilico, it's like this is a very different kind of pair. But I don't know how much that's supposed to be like Christopher and Anthony, or if that's just more of a coincidence. But you find out that Christopher killed himself, which A, is really fucking interesting, B, is really fucked up, and C, made me kind of go like, man, that's really... How? Like, how does a shadow really die? Like, how do you do that? At one point I was thinking, it's like this, like, because there's a part when Mary Rose is chasing Kate and John where they're like going over an aqueduct and shit, and I'm like, oh, okay, does a shadow get like fucked up in water? Because I don't remember if that's because I really don't remember season 1 super well, unfortunately. It's like, how bad is that? Because shadows create soot and water kills soot. What happens in water? Oh, if they get in water, they're completely fine. Okay, how do you kill a shadow? And then the Christopher thing is revealed. I'm like, yeah, how? And then later, at like a little bit later than that, you get Mary Rose and Rosemary jumping off a ledge. You're like, oh, that's how. Actually, I mean, that would definitely kill the doll, but do shadows take fall damage? Like, I genuinely don't know how that works. And even then, they might have survived it. It doesn't go into it, from what I understand. The manga doesn't, or at least has yet to go into whether they survived or not. It's deliberately ambiguous, which was a really great, like, powerful scene, by the way. I liked it a lot. They talk quite a bit about soot sickness, which is like, yes, when a living doll is exposed to too much soot, it makes them very sick. It can actually, like, fuck up their brains and shit. And you get a couple scenes of the medical team trying to, like, relieve someone of soot sickness, like putting a bunch of water in their mouth, and they have to throw up the soot. And I remember watching it and going, like, this is some hentai shit. Like, I get what's happening, but the way it's shot and presented is like, if I didn't know better, like if I walked in on someone watching this, I would think they were watching porn for a second. Like, it was weird. And I don't know if I liked that. It's like, it made me uncomfortable. I don't know if that's like, how they were, if that's what they wanted. They probably wanted me to be, like, uncomfortable, but, like, I don't know if you guys were trying to make it sexual, but okay. There's one episode that focuses on Louise and Patrick specifically. It's like, here's the Louise half of the episode, here's the Patrick half of the episode, which I liked quite a bit. And it introduced Margaret, who is another shadow. And I was like, oh, maybe she and Patrick have a thing. And then I know some shit that happens with Margaret later. And again, it's the kind of shit that made me go like, fuck, I need to read the manga. I guess take a shot every time I say that in these fucking 10, 11 minutes. But Patrick is actually in love with Emilico because of the shit that happened during the debut. Like, that's actually really cute. That's sweet. I enjoyed that. Oh, another one of the big mysteries is who is the Master Robe person. I remember looking at it, I was like, well, they look really fucking tall. Mary Rose is like one of, like, tall but not super bulky. I was like, that looks like the body type of Mary Rose. And the ending is putting a lot of emphasis on Barbara and Mary Rose, and that's very clearly not Barbara. So I'm just gonna assume that Master Robe is Mary Rose. Oh, look, I was right. And I love this character. I love how theatrical she is. Like, she's holding a rose. She's doing JoJo poses half the time. During her fight, she's actively, like, teaching Kate and John. Like, she's great. And it's like, it made her death with Rosemary, purported death, a lot more impactful. I was like, I really like this person. I have to shout out Barbie's design because I fucking love it. I love the hair. Like, I love the color of it. Like, how kind of frazzled it is, but it's like this controlled frazzle. I love the fucking shark teeth on this supposedly regular human being. It's like, no, you, I can believe, are a doll because of those fucking chompers. What the hell is that? I love it. John basically just makes me laugh every time he opens his mouth. Like, he is walking, talking, honey glazed pork. He is so fucking hammy, and I think it is great. Is there anything else I really... Oh, the fucking scene with the Bell twins when they break the coffee. That was great, because I had no idea what was going to happen. I was like, I just remember, because like they talk about what the coffee is, like this is how they brainwash, because I do remember that from season 1. And then breaking it, I think I actually gasped. I was like, that's a big fucking deal. That's bad. And then, yeah, you get their punishment afterwards, which is really bad. Like, they were essentially tortured, as were their living dolls, and one of them doesn't make it. And it's one of the, which, there is a really great scene when Patrick is talking to Margaret. And she's like, oh yeah, like the Bells were part of your team. I believe they were your team leaders. And now that they're gone, like, how do you feel about that? It's like, you know, like, are you nervous at all? Are you kind of worried? She's like, oh yeah, I'm really worried. What if they come back? You're like, oh gosh, how terrible were these two? So it's like, they come across as really fucking awful. And then you see what happens to them and you're like, yeah, this doesn't feel deserved. Like, you seem like you were kind of assholes, but this is bad. And then just how shaken the surviving twin is after, like, her severe PTSD. It's really fucked up. And again, it's one of those moments where, like, this is not just a cool mystery show. There is real, genuine horror in the Shadows house. And, okay, I feel like I have to bring this up. The title bothers me. Because I feel like, maybe it's just me, I'm like, shouldn't there be like an apostrophe there? Because, like, I get it, it's Shadows house with no apostrophe. Essentially, it is a house full of shadows, but it's also belonging to the Shadows family and Lord Grandfather, so shouldn't it be like, it's the Shadows' house? Maybe it's just a me thing, but I look at it, I'm like, it's Shadows house, but like, I feel like there should be an apostrophe there. I don't know. Regardless, apostrophe or no apostrophe, I really like it. Like I said several times, at some point I want to read the manga. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it. There was a good handful of manga I wanted to read this year. Like, I don't know, hi Bahamut, like One Piece that I just didn't pick up, which is not good. But I'm hoping, I don't know, maybe around like November or December, I might go through some of these. Like the ones I can think of off the top of my head is like, I want to read One Piece. I wanted to read Dorohedoro because I have a couple friends that liked it or read it and really liked it. I do still plan on watching Monster. If I hear that it's far better to read it than watch it, I'll probably change my mind. But I want to read and or watch, probably not and, but read or watch Monster. Shadow's House, pick up the manga, and Freyren, when I'm done watching the anime, I'm gonna want to pick up the manga too. And then keep up with My Hero every few months or so and binge chapters. Same with Talentless Nana and Record of Ragnarok every, what is it, like 22nd of the month, I think is when the Raws come out. But anyways, I really liked it. I had a good time with it. I would highly recommend watching season 1 and watching season 2. I think that's all for this one. I'll see you later.